Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So I haven't posted for a few days because the phone that I was using as my camera died completely. It seemed to lose about 70% of its power in about 2 hours. Well, I finished my last film, got it home, went to plug it in, stone cold dead, and and it won't recharge, so it's dead. Anyway, with that said, I went to Leo's Antiques in Olney, which is I think about 10 miles from where I live. They're very welcoming there. And this is my second film there. It's a place that I've been quite a few times. I've bought quite a bit of glass from them over the years and bought a few other things as well. So yeah, I quite like it there. And so this is going to be a two-parter. Maybe not quite as big as some of the others, but yeah, it is going to be a two-parter because I'm about halfway through and I thought this is getting long enough. So with that said, we'll get on with the film. So I'm here at Leo Antiques on a slightly snowy day in Olney. You can see right in the town centre, or village, a big village it is. You can spot it easily because of the word antiques on the wall here. So yeah, I haven't actually been inside yet. They know I'm coming. So let's get on and see what's inside. We are inside. This is what it's like inside Leo's. It's upstairs and it's got different rooms. Let's get on and see what we see. Oh, something with a label straight away. Yeah, their label's got it there. Well, Briley. I wonder if I can date that label. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I couldn't find any anywhere that was listing out the ages of the labels, but so the pattern we were looking at is called Bruce, Royal Briley Bruce, and it says here 1988. So this is replacements.com. But I was recently told not a reliable source, it says discontinued. So I thought I've got a couple of other places I can try. So this is discontinued designs. This has Bruce, but unfortunately it doesn't tell you anything more information other than this is the pattern. Here's some pictures of it. And so then I tried crystal drinking glasses, which is another replacement site. And they don't tell you either. So theoretically this is discontinued, but Royal Briley's still running, and if you go on their website, the pattern is here. So it isn't actually discontinued, you can still buy it, but there's no vases. I've been through the website, let me accept that there. I've been through the website, they're not selling any vases at all, so it's not brand new. It might be post 1988 because that's what replacement says. So yeah, I don't know, it's relatively new. Looking at pictures, there is a box decanter where the label, the imagery on the box looks the same as that label, so, and the box looks pretty new, so I can't guarantee that 1988 date, but it's probably right. It's newish, well, as newish as 1988 is. So anyway, that's all I've got for that vase. What's this? Yeah, I don't recognise that. Looks a bit Stuart Crystal-esque, but I don't think it is. I think this would be a bit more bulby if it was. Don't recognise this. Oh, look at this. Davidson. Yes, that's exactly right. I'll be able to, this is a cloud bowl. It's a nice big one as well. And it's got the stand as well, which a lot of them don't. In fact, it's three parts really. You've got your frog, your bowl and your stand. And you don't normally see all of them. So that's pretty good. I'll be able to find that in the catalogue. We're looking at the Davidson 1931 catalogue that I've downloaded from the 20th Century Glass website, and yeah, this is the vase, I mean the bowl we were looking at. It comes in different sizes, 9, 12, and I think we were looking at a 9, well, 14 inch, that's huge, for a 9-inch version of it. And yeah, you see it's 3 parts: the frog, the bowl, and the stand. So yeah, I have looked at the 1928 catalogue and it's not there, so we can't say it's 1920s, but you can quite clearly say it's a 1930s design. In fact, you could quite happily put 1931, because here it is, and yeah, that makes it over 90 years old. Yeah, these are like Powell ones. They're probably pre-war. Don't know who made them. I know Hadland made them in Norway, but I don't know who in the UK was making them. It's nice. So this is very Victorian looking, late Victorian. Oh no. Oh, that's interesting. So, can you see this goldy effect? So, this will have been the glass blob. So this might be Murano, in fact. But this glass blob, it's not Salviati because it's got a polished pontil. Let me just stick my finger underneath. Yeah, it's got a polished pontil. So, the glass blob that they took out of the furnace, what they would do is they would coat it with gold leaf, and then they would dip it and cover it so that it would be sandwiched between 2 layers, and then they would blow it, and then you get this gold texture. See if it focuses. Yeah, can you see that? So that's real, it is goldy colour, so it's probably real gold leaf. There's a nice quality perfume bottle in here. I'm trying to see if I can get around to see it better. Yeah, it's the kind of thing that would be made by Webb or Stevens and Williams or something like that. It's very nice, but yeah, 1909. And again, more glasses. They do have a lot of labels and new glass in here. Bohemia Crystal. I mean, yeah, it doesn't say who the maker is though. This is interesting. So it's like a table centerpiece bowl. I think it's probably plate. Yeah, it doesn't say it's silver. And it looks like it would be WMF. I will, and it looks probably 1920s or something like that. I'm going to try and find that. Probably won't succeed, but I'm going to try. As expected, I was not able to find that exact bowl. So why was I saying I thought it was WMF? And I thought I'd show you. So I've been Googling, as you'd expect. And so this is something that's in Helmswell, it says here. There we go. And this is WMF. And yeah, you can see it's got a cut edge. The bowl we were looking at had a cut edge, and it's shaped, and then it's got bits cut into it. But here's another bowl that's on pillars like the one we looked at. Yeah, so it was something WMF did. They did glass insert bowls into metal frames, and they cut the bowls and they did cut edges. There's not much. Let me go to the other search I did. I did it on Bing as well, the same search. No, I didn't mean to do that. Go back. So if we go here, you'll see, let's see, here's something with cut edge, insert in a metal, and yeah, here's another one, cut edge with cutting, and the style of it, WMF were successionist, and the cutting in that bowl I would say is a very successionist, which is like a stiff Art Nouveau style. This one's a bit more flexible, but you can see it's got the same. And there's another one here with a cut edge. And oh, that's the bowl we were looking at on the other search with the pillars. But it's in green glass. So, but look, here's another bowl that's clearly a glass bowl with a cut edge, cut in the bowl as well, that fits in a metal frame. This is something that they did. Here's another one, and another one. So you can see where I'm coming from, where as soon as I see it, I went, yeah, I think it's WMF. I still think it's WMF. What I can't do is I can't pin it exactly. I haven't been able to find it. Here's another nice bowl here with a cut edge, cutting in the bowl, and another one. So you see where I'm coming from. It's something that they did a lot of, but I can't really pin it closer than that. If I was going to date it, it's not. Some elements of it make me think it's not pre-war. I think it's a post-war one. I think it's 1920s. Just something about it. So I'm going to go with that. Now this is interesting. So look at the quilting. It's got a cut pedestal, hollow. I'm wondering if this is Whitefriars from the 1860s. I'm going to have a look in the Museum of London Whitefriars book and see if it's there, because it's quality-wise, age-wise, it looks about right. The book I have here is Whitefriars Glass, James Powell and Son of London. It's a Museum of London book. And yeah, so this is the quilted glass I'm thinking of. And yeah, so this is the closest thing to it, and it's not the same. This is much more delicate, isn't it? Yeah, and this is the page from the 1860s that I was thinking of. Yeah, it's not tight enough to really say. There's a bit more quilted wear here, but they're different again. So no, I can't pin it that close. In fact, when compared to this, these look more aesthetic, which makes me think the Tazza we're looking at is probably a little bit earlier, maybe, because it's a bit heavier. Yeah, more early Victorian. So anyway, yeah, that's as close as I can pin it. So I can't definitely say it's Whitefriars. So some Whitefriars Woodchester, or possibly Ferndale. Yeah, I found out there's another name for these. And this is with spots. So people call this Woodchester spot. Can you see these spots? Between the ferns, if it hasn't got the spots. So all the catalogues I've seen that are pre-war have the spots, and all the post-wars ones don't. So these, to be pre-war, are they marked? Yep. So, and I've been corrected on the pronunciation, so these are by Ludwig Knie, or Knee, I think it is. I don't think you pronounce the K. And yeah, so, and they're nice proper size. They're water goblets, I think. So I will show you the catalogue references for these, because obviously I've done a whole video on Woodchester, but not, I had virtually no spot, because that's the pre-war stuff. And obviously not made for very long. I'm looking at a 1934 catalogue that I've downloaded from the Stuart Crystal Facebook group. So at first I'd like to apologise, because I did actually say Whitefriars in that video. I had Whitefriars in the brain because I've just been looking at something Whitefriars immediately beforehand, what I thought might be Whitefriars. But anyway, yeah, so this is what we were looking at. A larger version of that, I think it was. And yeah, you can see you've got your fern and you've got your dots down the side, 2 dots if it's a glass. There's no name on here, it's just the part number. And then I'll show you something else I found. So this is also from the Facebook group, and actually what I've realised here is they're calling it Ferndale. I think I might have mentioned that. This is something I've only just recently discovered. And yeah, so this is supposed to be pre-war, and you can see it's got the dots. So it might be that actually the ones with the dots are not Woodchester Spot, as everybody calls them. It might be that they're Ferndale. But yeah, so these are after this pattern. And then if you go to 1964, you can see it's exactly the same. The shapes are exactly the same, but there's no spots. You've only got those pictures here. It's only got outlines beyond that. But yeah, there's no spots. And the bulk of what you see, 90% of what you see is actually, it's got no spots. So I think it does clearly look like the spots were only there pre-war, because it was, I think it was about a 6-year period where they would have been making it, and then I think they were making these from post-war until they closed. I think till about 1980. I think so. So yeah, it's pop pattern. I know you can make services with this because I have my own service that I've built up. That's absolutely huge. You don't have to go as extreme as me. Yeah, you can go out and get this. So those ones we were looking at are that 10% that are the really early ones. So this is nice. It says it serves. It's signed, so 1920s. Yeah, that's cool. I wonder if it glows in the dark. I should start bringing out my torch with me to see. Mary Gregory piece. But it's really unusual. Well, it may not be Mary Gregory. If it's got coloured in it, is that Mary Gregory or not? So the surrounding is all white, but then the stalk that's in the middle, I presume it's a stalk, is coloured as well. Yeah, that's unusual. Yeah, and I think Victorian looks right. Yeah, these look very bohemian. What have they got written on them? Pear shape, though they don't know. Yeah, they look very bohemian, but you don't know. And the stem's moulded. Yeah. Usually the bohemian ones are better quality. So maybe it's French or something, I don't know. And look at this, set of 6. Woodchester 1930s, but these are real 1930s because they've got spots. These are ale glasses. Yeah, set of 6, that's good. Sticking with the 1938 catalogue from the Stuart Crystal Facebook group, and yeah, here's the tall glasses we were looking at, and yeah, it says fruit drink and ale set. I'm just going to go with them being beer glasses because that's, you know, that's cooler. Anyway, so here they are, the tall glasses. I have seen people list them as champagne flutes. They are not those. And then you've got some Stuart Cascade. These are at the other end of the spectrum because these will be 1930s. These will be late on, especially when, yeah, the way the bottle, the pouring lip is done is not in any of my catalogues, which go up to 1972, which means this is probably post 1972. What else? Yeah, I don't recognise any of these, and they're various ages. And then these Stuart as well. Webb Corbett. Yeah, crisscross patterns are so. Yeah, there's a Stuart pattern that's a bit like that as well, but I don't think he's got the little bits that go up on the top. But yeah, difficult. Anything else down here? Oh, look at these. They're nice. They're very nice. Unusual stoppers. These ball stoppers, you don't see those in the UK very much. You do see them in the US. But, yeah, nice. It says AF. Don't know where they're broken. Can't see anything. It might be just for general wear and tear, chips and stuff. But they're really good set, because I think you can easily drop a bottle into those. In fact, probably between the two of them, you could probably squeeze 3 bottles into those. And then a bit of boxed and labelled Royal Dalton. Looking at this, and I've seen it somewhere. I have seen this pattern somewhere. It's been personalised for somebody. Where have I seen it? Has it got... No. Yeah. I don't know. I have some thoughts that I don't want to share at the moment. I'll try and find it. I might not find it. But yeah, I think I've seen it. So I was looking back at this to see, you know, it's kind of edited in and everything. And then I remembered where I'd seen it. I'd seen it on eBay. So yeah, I look at masses of stuff on eBay, and here it is. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere else as well. I think it might be in one of the books. I can't guarantee that though, and I'll probably be searching forever. But yeah, it's on eBay, and unfortunately, yeah, they're telling me nothing. Vintage bedside watercraft and tumbler set etched. That's telling you nothing really. No history, no maker, no date. You know. So anyway, there we are. A little tea light here. I don't recognise it. I might try and find it, have a look around, but I don't recognise it at all. It's not the usual. We're looking at a 1970s catalogue that's downloaded from the Mats Linda website, and it's for Kosta. And yeah, so he had sunflower written on that, and I didn't actually look for that. I was just looking at tea lights, and I did find this one here. So it's from the 1970s, and I think this is actually the one. Proportionally, this looks right for it. So it's a 79128. Oh, hang on, what am I saying? 97128. And yeah, so it's for Kosta, it's from Sweden, and it's from the 1970s. So these are home guard. They're a bit like the Kosta ones, but bigger, chunkier. Yeah, they're just made in a mould. I think I read somewhere that they made 14 million of the Kosta ones. So I don't know how common the home guard ones are. They're quite cool. Berry period. Or maybe it's not as close as I'm going to get, because I just found this website. I think it's for sale for €12.50. They've got one here. It says Kosta Snowball and Waff. Here, it's in Dutch, because I looked up where it says Netherlands here. So this is all in Dutch. Did a quick translation, and it says Snowball tea light holder is shaped like a snowball, designed by Anne Warf in 1973. So there we go. So we know it was still being made in 1980, so it was made for a little while. And as I said, I've seen that they made millions of them somewhere. Someone has said that. I think it might have been something someone said on Facebook, and the search, when it shows you so many of them, that looks like it to be a bit of a truism. So anyway, that's a bit more detail than I thought I was going to get. So I'm back out in the hallway here, and yeah, this is interesting because someone just showed me something recently, and you know who you are because you've been watching this. Look at that stopper peg. I think this is Lausitzer, German, West German. Yeah. I'm going to have a good look at it now. Yeah, it's completely... I don't think there's any machining there. I think that's completely moulded, but probably turned within the mould somehow. There's no sign of any seams or anything on it, so it kind of looks like it's... See, this sits... Yeah, it sits Can you see there? It sits in a little recess at the top. And there's that. Yeah, there's a seam here, so this is pressed glass. Yeah. I'm going to try and find this because I said I only recently discovered this as a name. And yeah, the way this is made is very distinctive. So sometimes trying to figure out things can be a bit tenuous. So yeah, someone recently sent me this picture, very nice lady, who's one of my subscribers, and we've been trying to work out what it is. She thinks it's Lausitzer and sunflower, Margaret sunflower design, and yeah, and it has this unusual stopper, just like the one we were looking at. Okay, so that has got the same stopper, and I thought, okay, so for this video I'll try and investigate further, and I found this. So this is on Etsy. It doesn't have the same stopper, but it does. If you go back here, look at this design here, yeah, and it's the same design. Okay, so, and it's got Margaret written on it, and yeah, it doesn't have the same stopper. In Etsy they can see the whole label because they don't give you a close-up. Is this a close-up of the label? No, you can just see where it says Margaret. Yeah, terrible. Anyway, and it's really annoying me the fact that they didn't flatten it out, but yeah, that's just OCD on my part. And what they've said is vintage West German crystal decanter glasses decorated, vintage West German Margaret lead crystal. So they're confirming that it's West German, that the pattern's called Margaret. Hers is the same pattern. It's called, so somewhere she's got Margaret from. I don't know where she's got the name of the maker. Yeah. So she's partially right. So the decanter we're looking at might be Lausitzer. I did have a hunt around, couldn't find it. Yeah. What a pain. So I reckon it's definitely West German, because we've got this matching pattern with a label that says it's West German, and the same stopper on a different decanter. So it's feeling a bit tenuous, but I'm afraid that is the best I can do. The glasses with it are, they feel very bohemian. These stars are something that they did a lot of, not exclusive to them, but they did a lot of them. Yeah, this is all cut. So yeah, those are better quality than the decanter. Look at this. It's big. What's it like underneath? It's not too heavy. It's heavy enough. Oh, it's completely pressed. So I think, and the glass is clear glass. It's not recycled because there's someone else that made stuff like this where it's recycled glass. I think this is Estuni International, made in Italy. I'll see if I can find it. Just have a quick whiz through whatever they've made and see if it pops up. But I think that's what that is. So after a bit of Googling around, so one of the names that Estuni uses is Lavorazione, and so I googled that to see if the vase would pop up, and I can't find an exact match. In fact, actually looking here, look at that, that's so wrong. That's from Taiwan, that vase there. But anyway, if you look at this one, you can see where I'm coming from. You see all the streakiness. It's got that same streaky look to it. And then if you look at this one with a clear base and the same kind of streaky pattern, then you've got similar color pattern in this one. This one's also got the same color pattern. They're not quality things, which is why when I turned it over and saw it had a complete pressed glass base, yeah, these don't have quality. They're not quality made things. It says Murano, but in actual fact the labels are a bit misleading, so they're not really Murano, but you can see they have this kind of streaky stuff that they do. There's lots of it. There's another one. There's another one. There's a big one. Yeah, there's another one. Is there any more in this color palette? No, that's the same one we saw before. So there are things in the same color palette there. You can see there's yellow, the white, different white one there. I think we might be running out here because it's not well known stuff, but you do see a lot of it, and a lot of it's not labeled. But I've seen enough with labels on to know the look and the feel of it now. But there's one in the same green color pattern. Yeah, the Murano, I said the Murano's misreading. Lavorazione is about 20 miles north, so it's actually not in Venice itself, it's on the mainland in Italy. So I think that's enough of that one. So this bottle is interesting and not interesting. So I think this is Bohemian, and it's case glass where they dip the bottle into, so they'd make the bottle and then they would, before they'd fully blown it, they would dip it into another color, blue this case, so you've got clear glass, and then they would blow the bottle and then they would cut in it to make this. What's interesting is you can see the edge of the blue glass at the top. So yeah, you don't normally see that. Normally it goes right up to the very lip and it coats off, but that's got a naturally finished bottle. Yeah, that's quite interesting. And then below we've got some Waterford, and made in the Republic of Ireland, Colleen, and they're £115, and that's because the Irish like their glass, so it has a premium on it. That's quite a nice pattern actually. More crisscrosses. What's down here? Yeah, these are not that Victorian, not that fashionable anymore, and they don't know who made. Oh, these are Waterford, £90. Yeah, I don't recognise these. I'll have a quick shufty around to see if I can find them, but chances are I won't find them. Palomar glasses. These used to be very common, but they're very thin. And they used to sell them in Woolies apparently before the war. And I've seen, I think they were making them in Victorian times as well. But yeah, you don't see them so much anymore, probably because they're so thin. So this is a, don't recognise it. It says it's Stuart Crystal. I don't recognise it. It must be a late pattern. Stuart Crystal. Palomar glasses. These used to be very common, but they're very thin. And they used to sell them in Woolies apparently before the war. And I've seen, I think they were making them in Victorian times as well. But yeah, you don't see them so much anymore, probably because they're so thin. So this is a, don't recognise it. It says it's Stuart Crystal. I don't recognise it. It must be a late pattern. Stuart Crystal. Looking at the Stuart Crystal catalogue from 1964 that I've downloaded from the Stuart Crystal Facebook group, and yeah, I think this pattern is called Salisbury. It's this. What's interesting, and this kind of like goes with my idea that it's late, is this is the shapes that they've got here. This decanter is not the same. it looks like a later decanter. So it's kind of like tall and slim, but not this shape. No foot. It's kind of like more like this, and the top goes out a little bit more here. So yeah, it's not quite matching. I think it's the same shape in the 1972 catalogue as well. So they still, in fact, I've got it here. There it is here, and yeah, so it's still this shape. So it's still not matching the one that was there. So I reckon it's a post 1972 decanter, but I think probably pre 1980. More Waterford. Doesn't say what this pattern is though. I mean, they've got labels on. I will try and find it, because once you know the maker, then you can just start plough through, try and find it. We've got some more glass over here. Let's go over here. The bowl in the back. That's Davidson's, but I can check that. I think it would be a late Victorian one. We're looking at the 20th Century Glass website here, and yeah, the dish that we were looking at there, the Purline, Davidson Purline dish, is this one here, and he's got it for, it's on sale for £36. The label was the wrong way around there, so I don't know what price it was there. And yeah, so he's saying around 1900. However, what he also does is he gives you the registration number, this 4137101, and we can look that up and get a more precise date. So that's what I'm going to do now. The book I'm looking at here is The Identification of English Pressed Glass by Jenny Thompson. We've got the year 1903, and if we work our way down, here we are, 413701, Davidson. Doesn't actually give you a date, but we do know it's between July the 14th and July the 23rd. So yeah, we do have a fairly precise date. Then you've got these two glasses. So there. Yeah. So I'm kind of happy that these are probably period, because what's written here is near pair. So they aren't actually a pair. You can see there's slight variation, colour variation, stem shape variation. Yeah. As I've said before, when you see a big pile of them, makes you worry whether they're right or not. The book I'm looking at here is the Arthur Negus Guide to British Glass, written by John Brooks. And yeah, so this is the glass we're looking at. And the date that he's got in here is, he says 1810 to 1800. These are early 1800s, so I would have actually said 1800 as the start date for these. Yeah, yeah, I dug myself a bit hole. I was watching the video and I said it was period. I didn't even say what periods. I thought I've got to do something, so I dug around and found this little reference here. So there you go for those green glasses. Oh look, red. So this is a little Whitefriars bowl here. I'll be able to look that up, get your patent number for that. I'm looking at the whitefriarsglass.com website, and this is the catalogue for 1957, and this is the first time I can find it appearing. Here it is, this little bowl here. It's a 9366, comes in red only. Yeah, so at least at this point anyway. So this is what it is for this kind of ware with these spirals on. This is quite late, because it was originally appearing in the 1930s. So this is quite, 20 years after this type of wares first appeared, this shape appears. So there we go, there it is. I think the green dish in the back, I'm not definite, but it looks like it's made by Arcaroc. What else is here? So I've been doing some searching around. It seems that making leaves into glass plates is not an original thought. These are the Arca ones, and they do it in green as well, but it's not the same. So I did a bit more searching. Someone here says Mats Jonasson, and I thought I'll have a little dig on that, and it's not that either, because these are the Mats Jonasson ones, because there's some with some labels. So that kind of, but there's the label there. That kind of kills that idea. They must have been smoking that leaf if they thought they were the same. Yeah, what else did I find? Did a few more. Yeah, I found loads of leaves, loads of green leaves. The only one that I think maybe, you see this leaf here, it kind of looks the same. They're saying it's green, but someone down here, and I'm not going to keep digging, Indiana glass green depression dish. So I'm sure someone's going to tell me it's something else, but the look of it, with the stem bent round like this, the way the ribs are, the texture looks similar, but obviously it's a cabbage dish, this is, it's saying, and the edge is not the same. So yeah, I haven't been able to pin it down. I've looked quite a lot, as you can see, and yeah, there's lots of different kinds of dishes, but nobody's actually naming that one in a way that I can verify. Dalton that's labelled. Thomas Webb. More Thomas Webb. Thomas Webb seem to have a lot of patterns which have this crisscross and then like a fan on the top. And these goblets here, they look continental. Might be French or something. Without taking them out and pinging them to see if the lead crystal wouldn't know. And yeah, there's nothing down here jumping out at me. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, normally I buy things there. There's a cabinet that I haven't got to in the film yet that's usually rammed with glasses, and I usually find something that I want in there. But yeah, it doesn't seem quite as rammed as it used to be. So anyway, so with that said, there will be a part 2, and all of the descriptions of all the books and websites I've used will be in the links below, in the description below, and the address and all the contact details for Leo Antiques will be in the description below. So please remember to like and subscribe, because there will be a part 2, and I shouldn't be as long as it's been for this part. So thank you very much for watching. Good night.